speaking of live shows, you're the only one of the three of us that's ever been on Johnny Carson.
Well, that's true.
What was that like? Just hanging out.
It was. I had done the Johnny Carson show twice before.
Okay.
But had never really been with Johnny Carson. Like one time, we had a cat doing different things. But this time, when the TV series Here's Boomer was out, and Johnny Carson had said the night before that the Boomer series had been canceled, and it hadn't. So, and I didn't know that because I didn't watch the show. So anyway, I'm up at Universal, and I get a call from the Carson show. Can you bring Boomer down to do the show? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Because they would shoot it, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and then show it that night. So, okay. So I'm walking and I don't really know what's going on. Well, Johnny Carson wants to publicly apologize to Boomer for saying he got canceled.
That's a great stick.
Yeah. And so I walk in and, Joe PA, whoever he is, and he says, and Johnny Carson walks up and says, "Hi, I'm Johnny Carson." And I'm like, "Who?"
Man.
Yeah. And so I like to joke around and shit.
Right.
And anyway, so Carson says, I'm going to give him some gifts and, like a Gucci slipper and, just things and he says, just have fun with it. And I'm like, okay, you're talking to the wrong guy because I'm not afraid to have fun. And what I did was I cut up on the way. I got some hot dogs and cut up little bits of hot dogs to work Johnny with. Boomer's real name was Johnny, and I never called him Boomer on the show. I always called him Johnny because that was his name, and that's the way I trained him.
Oh wow!
So Carson was interviewing me about some of the, and I wanted to work the dog for him. So. Carson was at a desk and the main chair the dog was in. So I got on the other side of Carson to work the dog, and the seat at the very end, I wanted him to sit up and the seat was very cushy. He was having a hard time sitting up, and I'm like, "Johnny, sit up." I got a little, so he sits up and I get I got some hot dog in my hand and I pay my dog, Johnny, and I notice Carson is like this. So I shoved a bite of hot dog in his mouth. And I'm almost positive he was like, "What was that, a lewd?" And, because Quaaludes back in the day, and then the band was cracking up and all that. And then Shelley Winters, she was pissed off because I was the first one out. She was supposed to be the first one out there. And So she comes and sits down in the chair right on my dog. And why he didn't bite, because he was that kind of dog. He was a dog pound dog. And he got in a lot of fights. And why he didn't bite her is beyond me, but he didn't. So, we pretty much said our, shake hands and said goodbye and see you later.
Wow, that's hilarious. So Carson also got a hot dog.
Well, he didn't want one.
Hilarious.
I just shoved it in his mouth.
Well, he said have fun with it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was working on Here's Boomer the very next day. And it's not like nowadays where everybody and their brother has a talk show and it's no big deal to be on a talk show.
Yeah, there's
Johnny
tons of
Carson
podcasts
was
and stuff.
Yeah.
way up there. There was nobody
That's right.
other than Johnny Carson.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And after that, I go to work the next day, and actors are coming up to me going, "I saw you on a Carson show. You weren't nervous at all. I'd have been, and I'm going, look."